Hello and welcome to another Contemplative Living, where we talk about concepts to bring contemplative living into everyday life. Spirit once said to me, "Let us intend growth toward a constant relationship with our true being." What was Spirit talking about? He was talking about spending time integrating our physical self with our higher consciousness, our true being, our true nature. So that's what we're going to talk about today. So let's get to it.
Welcome to Contemplative Living, where we view contemplations for the week to have a better understanding of our spiritual paths. This is Contemplative Living with Dave Bennett, contemplations and reflective meditations.
All right. Well, throughout your life, you contribute to the energies of the universal mind. So when we're balanced, when we're centered, when we're working on our spiritual path, we have a greater connection to our true being, our true nature. And with that, we are contributing our positive frequencies to the universal mind, that oneness, that universal consciousness. That's an amazing thing that we can contribute in this lifetime. And being aware of that ability to do that is a huge purpose for all of humanity, but individually for each and every one of us. Contribute your light. Do your part in making the world a better place for everyone. When we contribute our higher spiritual frequencies to the universal mind, that lifts up other people. I believe it was Stephen Hawkins did some research on this. And when he did, he found that one person that is working on their spiritual path and is contributing higher frequency thoughts to the universal mind lifts up thousands of other people. So this is a goal that we can all work toward. The universal mind is uplifted vibrationally when we focus on heart-centered consciousness. Heart-centered consciousness is such an empowering way to live our lives. Not only does it help us, but we see here that it helps others. So when we can work on ourselves to live more heart-centered, more compassionate, with more loving tolerance, and we step out in the world and we contribute to the world that way, we not only contribute physically, but also on a spiritual plane. Higher frequency thoughts create waves of cascading change. So as we work on ourselves, we raise our spiritual vibration. We're creating change. It's like the drop in the ocean that eventually creates these greater and greater and greater ripples. So the higher the frequency, the greater the ripples that cascade out and can reach more and more people. Now, a lot of times with this, this chaotic life that is physical life, we don't realize, how much interconnection there is, because we're going about our daily lives. We're doing, what we need to do to survive in this chaotic world. Well, but if we take the time to spend a moment here and there, working and centering and thinking on a higher frequency, rising above the circumstances, that's when we can contribute in ways that we weren't even aware of. Imagine what happens when you go beyond basic thoughts, working every day on your own spiritual growth. So that's kind of the key. What we want to do is we want to try to schedule a time every day when we can work on ourselves and spend a little bit of time, whether we're reading or studying on higher concepts, or whether we're in deep meditation and allowing our guidance, our inner guidance, our true nature, our higher consciousness to guide us. Anytime that we're doing that, we're growing exponentially. And so our frequencies, as they grow, they expand exponentially. And so they can touch even more and more. Instead of reaching out to a few people, now we're reaching out to hundreds of people. So your extraordinary service to humanity is paradoxically focusing upon your own spiritual growth. So it's kind of funny, we don't think we're doing much to help the world, but we can. We can, and it's and it's so simple because we have to work on ourselves. We've heard it over and over. Many of the spiritual leaders in the world all say that, when you focus on your spiritual growth, you help the world. Well, it's so true, but we found that it's actually exponentially and extraordinarily huge service that we contribute to the world when we focus on higher spiritual planes. Your higher consciousness knows the exact details of your life plan, and it's guiding you down the path. So as we connect and we work with our higher consciousness, as we work with our true nature, our true being, that's when we get intuitive insights that help us to make the decisions in life that guide us down the path that we need to go. Instead of being so swept up in the circumstances and the everyday-to-day happenings, we can see clearly, and we use that greater consciousness, which is really trying to point us in the right direction. If we don't pay attention, if we sit down in our path, then we're not going to go anywhere, and it's not going to be fun. We're going to feel like we're sitting in the middle of a hurricane. But when we rise up and we look above the winds and we look above the turmoil, then we can see where we can contribute. And that's where we can do the most good. So I invite you to work on yourself and to find that higher, that spark of creativity, that spark of intuitiveness that resides within you, that is your higher consciousness talking to you and guiding you and helping you down your path. And I hope that you find that helpful in this coming week. Namaste.